Out of all of human history, all the people of the world, all the empires rising and falling, from tiny city-states to sprawling multinational empires, which is the most advanced? This, essentially, is the question that was posed by my teacher during the first week of class. At first, it seems simple, but things that look simple rarely are such. To steal one of the examples he used, if we are so much more advanced than the ancient Romans with all our fancy technology and suits, then why do their roads last so much longer, to the point where we can still drive on them today? No, because I've done it before. He sent us off to discuss, and rapidly the argument started. It turns out advanced is a fairly complicated term. Remember that for later. And as everyone bickered, I began to come to my own slightly unorthodox conclusion. Before we get to that, let's take a look at some of the basic components of the problem. The question basically has two terms with debatable definitions: advanced and civilization. In terms of civilization, I'm just going to skate over the problem for now. Future video coming soon, subscribe for more amazing content. But more important is the idea of being advanced. The very term advanced implies superiority, since you can't be advanced unless someone is less advanced. This is actually one of the major ideas of Taoism, that you can't have one extreme without the other. There's no light without dark, heat without cold, etc. That's what the yin and yang is all about. But anyway, it's a starting example, thought experiment, if you will. Let's take two generic groups of humans. Let's say one is a group of hunter-gatherers, the other is technologically equal to our present-day selves. Which is more advanced? Obviously, the second is more advanced, right? Or is it? Our technology has brought about wonders, but at what cost? Deadlier disease, more destructive war, cocomelon environmental devastation, extreme exploitation, hyper-inequality, list goes on and on. As opposed to a small group of hunter-gatherers, which much research suggests had more leisure time to create art and music than we do in our present day, as well as a much more egalitarian society, a cleaner environment, no cocomelon, and no threat of total nuclear annihilation. In fact, many explorers from the more so-called advanced lands viewed the less advanced people they encountered with envy. Upon encountering the Aborigines of Australia, Captain James Cook said, quote, "In reality, they are far more happier than we Europeans, being wholly unacquainted not only with the superfluous, but the necessary conveniences so much sought after in Europe. They are happy in not knowing the use of them. They live in a tranquility which is not disturbed by the inequality of conditions." In light of that, can we really say that the second society is so much more advanced? So, assume I haven't convinced you yet. Oh, good for you, not assuming everything on YouTube is objective truth. But first, before you walk away, let's perform another thought experiment. Imagine two independent civilizations have just discovered how to harness nuclear fission. Great for them. But the way they use their newfound technology exposes a radical difference. The first, say, develops the atomic bomb, and the second, the nuclear reactor. Now which is more advanced? Is it the one using their technology to provide clean energy? Or is it the one using their technology to increase their military power? Is the first being aggressive, selfish, and irrational? Or are they being pragmatic, ensuring they can defend themselves? Is the second civilization being smart and environmentally friendly, providing clean energy for their people? Or are they being naive, failing to defend themselves while creating a new environmental problem, all the way from the mining of uranium to its disposal afterwards? Can we really say that one of these civilizations is more advanced than the other? The problem of determining who is advanced comes down to values. All civilizations have their own ideals, all cultures value different things. If you were to ask any ancient, or for that matter modern society, however different they may be, who the peak of civilization were, they would say it was themselves. Half of them literally thought they were the center of the universe. So how do we figure out who's right and who's wrong? The problem with determining an objective answer is we live in a society. It's impossible to have an objective answer because we are not objective people. We base our answers on our own values, which vary from one group to the next, one culture to the next, one civilization to the next. Two polar opposite civilizations can both see themselves as the most advanced because they have different values. For instance, really Japan and the Phoenicians were polar opposites when it came to foreign relations, one being a massive trading empire and the other pretending nobody else existed for 200 years. Neither of them would say the other is more advanced. And if we personally try and pass judgment, it is not as an objective observer, but because of our own personal and cultural values. What I'm trying to say is there is no most advanced civilization of all time. In the end, the question asks for an objective answer to a completely subjective question. Asking what civilization is the most advanced sounds like there is a solid, simple answer. The truth is, there isn't. We just have to live with that.